Welcome back to another video. I am 𝐶𝐞𝐭'𝐬, and today we are talking about how to trade using support and resistance levels. So a lot of times I'm actually asked, do I trade things other than patterns, harmonic pattern trading? And the answer is yes, I actually trade support and resistance levels as well. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the charts, and I'm gonna show you what I look at and how I place my support and resistance levels as well. So let's go ahead, let's get in. All right, so first off, let me get my glasses so I can see. So right here, we're looking at Bitcoin. And on Bitcoin, I actually placed some support and resistance levels previously because I actually have a trade on it at the moment. And we can see here, I place resistance levels because what is happening here is price action keeps moving to certain key levels over and over. That is what support and resistance levels are, is where price action, as we can see here, where price action keeps moving to these key levels over and over and over again. So what I saw was that there's this one level up here where price action keeps moving. So I put a line there, right? And this line, it's not a line, it's really an area where price action is moving. And this area could be something like an area like this, right? It doesn't have to be a line. It's just an area where price action will move to. I typically just use lines. I find them easier for me. I identified that line. I also identified a little bit of support levels through here. And what I did is I went ahead and I placed a trade at that resistance level. So what happened was price action came up, it went ahead and tagged me into the trade, and it came up a little bit. Now, what ends up happening is a lot of times people end up putting in really tight stops. So we'll say that this level here, and I'm gonna make this red. I think this is red. I don't actually know because I am colorblind, but we're gonna say that that's red. And people end up putting in really tight stops because they think this is somehow gonna save them. They want price action to just come up, touch their entry, and then reverse immediately. And that's not really gonna happen. You have to let the market breathe. So what ends up happening is they come up, price action will come up, it'll touch their stop them out, and then immediately reverse in the direction that they wanted in the first place. And that's exactly what happened here, is that price action came up. Let me actually zoom in here. Price action came up, it tagged me into the trade, moved up a little bit higher than what some people would expect, and then immediately reversed from that point. So if I would have placed my stop much closer, I would have been stopped out of the trade and I wouldn't be in this trade currently. So what I did was I identified where I could place my stop, right? And so what I did was I placed it higher than the previous levels that I had before. I also identified other levels of resistance and support, and I also found this one little trend line. This trend line is just a line where price action again keeps coming to. We can see price action came to it, retraced, came to it, retraced, came to it, retraced. So we expect, not necessarily going to happen, but we expect it to again come back down to this level. Because of that, I went ahead and placed my target somewhere around that level. Now, this here is more of a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And if price action ends up coming to, let's say, this point over here, then maybe I would end up taking my profit at that level. And it would end up being closer to a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio than a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And this is only because it is following that trend line. Does it have the chance to come down all the way past this trend line and tag my profit target? Absolutely, it sure does. But if it does, if I do see it coming down and touching this level, most likely I'm going to end up taking that trade off the table. Now let's take a look at another one. So over here on the euro dollar pair, I identified, yes, of course I've traded other trades as well. These are harmonic patterns. This particular one here is a Gartley pattern, which worked out very successfully. I planned this trade to enter here, tagged me into a trade, and moved in the direction that I wanted perfectly. But here, I actually identified a really nice trend line, again, where market would touch it, retrace, touch it, retrace, touch it, retrace, And so I planned on it touching it again. But I also found another key level of support and resistance that also coincided very close to this trend line as well. So what I ended up doing was I placed a trade at this level, but I made it so that the entry would enter on the support level, not the trend line. Yes, it did come down and make it all the way to that trend line. As we can see, it literally hit it, it perfectly hit that, and then moved in the opposite direction. That was perfect. But if it is a choice between support and resistance levels and a trend line, I'm almost always gonna go with a support and resistance level. 99.9% of the time. So that's what I did here. It tagged me into a trade and immediately reversed in the direction that I wanted. And here, this would be, typically a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. We can actually go ahead and see this. This is the long position. So we've got that. So this here. So yes, this is a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, as we can see here, which is perfect, right? You don't need a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 risk reward ratio. Really, all you need is a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio if you have something that makes more than a 50-50 win rate. So if you have a system that makes a 50% win rate, then you need something more than a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, right? 1-to-1 is great. You can still have an edge in the market with a 1-to-1. But if you have something with more than a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, that's where you're really gonna start making money. The higher of a win rate you have for your system, the less of the risk reward ratio you actually need, right? But I would not go less than a 1-to-1, no matter what. Even if you have a system that is a 95% win rate, which most likely is never gonna happen. But let's hypothetically say that you did. I would never go less than a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, ever. The people that make it in the Forex market, people that make it in trading, period, make it because they have flawless risk management and flawless money management. That is really what you need. It doesn't really matter what type of trading system you have. There was a guy back in the late 80s or early 90s that only had a 5% win rate. Literally a 5%. He lost 95% of the time, but yet somehow managed to make a $400 million profit, right? And this is because his losses were really, really tiny, where his wins were exceptionally huge. And this was because he had something like a 20-to-1 risk reward ratio. I don't remember exactly what it was or what his name was, but it was a phenomenal story that I remember hearing 10, 15 years ago. So even if you only win 5% of the time, you can make a lot of money in trading, as long as you have really good risk management and really good money management skills. And real quick on money management, doing a 1% risk of your account per trade or 2%, that's a fixed fractional money management system. To me, that is not real money management. That is not mathematically sound. You want to get something like a fixed ratio money management system. That is a much better money management approach than just randomly, arbitrarily going, oh, I'm going to risk 1% of my account on this trade. I personally believe, a trader that was doing well one day just thought, oh, well, I'm going to, tell everybody this is what I'm doing. And he did, and everybody's like, oh, that's the key, that's the secret. And ever since then, everybody's been doing the 2% trading on their trades. And I used to do that type of trading. I used to risk 1.5%, 2% per trade. Then when I found this other money management system, it was like night and day in my profitability. Those are the two things that you need. You need good risk management and good money management. Doesn't really matter what your trading system is. Now, let's go back into the charts and let's look at how I actually place my support and resistance levels. So here we are back in the charts, and let's just go to euro dollar because I don't think I have anything there. Yeah, I don't. So all I do primarily is I just look for places where the market repeats itself over and over and over again. So let me just go ahead and drop a line here, right where the market is. And we can see here, actually, this is actually pretty good. Maybe if I just move it just a little bit, maybe right there. All right, right there is a really good resistance level. We can see that the market has resisted at this level, here. Yes, it is broke through, but generally it just keeps on resisting at this level over and over and over and over again. We can see here it's resisted. We can see it's resisting. And if we continue farther back, I bet you there's even more back here. Yep, absolutely. Resistance levels, resistance levels. Here, it actually becomes a little bit of support level. More resistance levels. There's a good harmonic pattern that worked out. If we continue to go, oh, I did actually have some lines back here. Oh, look, more resistance levels right at that position. All right, so we can see that, let's jump back up to the front here. We can see that that is a really good support resistance level. So let's go ahead and find another one. So let's just drop down here, and maybe because I'm looking here, that's a good level there. And then we can see that right here, price action came down and touched that level as well. So we see price action touch, retrace, touch, broke through a little bit, retrace, touch, retrace. This is what we're looking for in trading support resistance. We want to see this action, this, you know, touch and retrace, touch and retrace, touch and retrace of this support and resistance levels. And if we take this, let me change this color maybe to a blue so that we can go all the way back, and we can see here, this blue level, there, it added some resistance level. Oh, more resistance levels. It resisted here, here. Oh, look here. It actually became support levels here. More support levels. Look at all the support levels. Then it became some resistance levels, some support levels, more resistance levels. So we can see that this has become really good. And if we go farther and farther and farther back, we can see that price action will continually touch these levels. So that's exactly what we're looking for when we're looking and identifying these support and resistance levels, is we want to see price action continually touch these levels. And then we want to decide, do we want to enter a trade? In which direction do we want to enter the trade? And when we decide we're going to enter the trade, let's say we're going to go short. So let's go back to the chart real quick. Let's say we're going to place this trade here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to sell up here because this is where price action is. And we're going to put a limit order here. And let's say we wanted the limit order right there. We want our stop loss up here. Again, we're going to let this market breathe. And we're going to take our profit target, maybe, let's just do a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And here on TradingView, I can tell that this is exactly a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio because right here in the sensor, it says 2. And if you watch as I move this, this will change. So just watch that level change. You see that? So if I come here, you see how it says 1. That means that that is a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. I'm risking the exact same amount of money. If I come here and I come all the way to 3, that means that is a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. So here, let's just go to 2. All right, so here I plan on hitting the market here. My stop is up here because I, gotta let the market breathe. And then I want the market to fall and retrace back to this level. And most likely it'll come all the way back to this level. And you could, if you wanted to, bring your target all the way back to this level. And at that point, you're getting a 2.62% risk reward ratio. So that is fantastic. That's exactly what you could do. Now, I'm not going to actually put this on because the market has already come up to this level and has started to retrace. If I thought it's going to come back up to this level before coming back down, then I might actually go ahead and look into getting into this trade. But as it is right now, I'm probably not going to do that. So guys, that is exactly how I find support and resistance levels. And that's how I trade support and resistance. It's ridiculously easy. I find tons of trades this way so that I either have harmonic patterns that I'm looking for, and if I don't find any harmonic patterns, then I can almost always find support and resistance trades that I can trade. These are the two types of trades that I'm trading all the time. And it doesn't really matter what market you're in. If you're in the Forex market, if you're in the stock market, if you're in commodities, it doesn't matter. As long as you can have a candlestick chart like this, you can always find support and resistance levels that you can trade. And support and resistance trading has a very, very, very good win rate if you know what you're doing. So you couple that good win rate with good risk management, good money management, and a good mindset, you're gonna be an unstoppable trader. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and if you want more of this content, you want me to teach you more, come visit us at 7figurecashflowsecrets.com. Join our free community. You also get access to a free course, Forex 101 course, which teaches you all the basics of how to trade the Forex market. And you get to join other like-minded traders just like you. And I am in there to answer all your questions as well. That's where you'll find me most of the time. So until next time, guys, take care, happy trading, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.